Welcome everybody to another episode of Command Combat Computer Reports. Today we have Command... Oh, I forgot the name of this. World War II. It's Command Mission. And it's a World War II game. It's a new one that I haven't done before. That's why I forgot the name. In fact, before I got this, I kept having to ask my friend what was the name. And I kept having to go back to him. Wait, what was that again? What was it again? But anyway, really good game. World War II, as I said, we have the New Zealanders versus the Germans. We are in Italy. The Italians are not present at the moment, but I'm sure they're somewhere out there. Anyway, we're in 1944, and let's take a look at the New Zealand forces. We won't see each one. They're going to be head-to-head. So we're going to see New Zealand stuff, then we're going to see German stuff, then we'll see New Zealand, and they can't see each other, but we'll be able to report on both of them. It's just the various commanders won't see them. So you can see on the map what they are. There are little icons of them, then you can see the units themselves. But let's take a quick look here. We have 3 platoons of infantry here. They each have some mortars with them. There's a sniper right there in the middle of them. We have 3 Sherman tanks in this little gully here. We've got, what have we got there here in these woods here? Looks like just a couple of infantry guys. They must have something. Oh, there's just a detachment from the mortars. For some reason they're out here. Alright, then we have anti-tank guns right over here. And then we have the heavy mortars sort of here near the back, as well as some of the command elements are back in this building here, and a spotter to kind of look over this valley. The Germans are somewhere out there. They could be anywhere in one of the corners. It looks like the New Zealanders are set up in this wood here. I don't know if that means they're going to swing around to the right. Certainly would be a better choice for the infantry than the left. You can see it's a big open field. We'll have to see whether they're just going to scout around for them or if they're going to assume they're in a certain area. But this is the setup for the New Zealanders. Let's take a look at the Germans. And here we are at the German lines. As you can see, they are not on the opposite corner. They're actually just across that creek that the New Zealanders might be coming up. This is where the New Zealand setup is, just across that creek. It's a lot of cover, so that's where the infantry would naturally go, and it'd go right into the Germans. In fact, right into a very fortified position. The Germans chose to build a trench line with with barbed wire and some minefields out front. These are the minefields. Let's see if it actually says something on those signs. Yes, it does. Here, is it in German? Paracola. That's probably. Oh, it says danger mines in English. That's, you probably wouldn't want to say it in English because you don't want them necessarily knowing that's what it is. But anyway, these trench lines were not, this isn't a part of a scenario. They weren't just naturally there. The Germans had to buy them and place them. So it looks like they put a couple of platoons of infantry in there with some anti-tank guns. You can see actually the Faust or Panzerschreck that's right down in there. So they are ready for anything that's going to come at them. They got mines and barbed wire and trench line and everything. I mean, that is going to be a heavy defensive area. The problem with it is this is a meeting engagement, not an attack-defense scenario, so Germans might find themselves kind of isolated there, not able to really do anything, especially if the New Zealanders come to them, so they're going to have to be a static defense. However, they do have this armor over here, and in fact, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good unit here. You got 3 Panzer IVs, backed up by some infantry. I think it's a full platoon of infantry is behind them, and then a Tiger right there amongst them, and some more anti-tank guns. So it looks like they're ready to take on any armor, even though New Zealanders only have 3 Sherman tanks. The Germans certainly don't know that. So the Germans really outmatch them in terms of armor here. If this becomes an armor duel, they really will have them. But let's see. I guess they do have their attack force here on the right, and their defense forces over here. It's not capture the flag or anything. But if the New Zealanders go at them, they are certainly going to be outmatched. And I guess that's the German. It looks like it's probably the German plan here, is because the Germans, if they go out, meet them with armor, they're outmatching them, and if they stay where they are, they're outmatching them. Of course, again, they don't know what the New Zealanders have, so let's see how it goes. Let's see what the German player has done here. click this to move forward. Normally we'll just be going into whatever the action was that they chose to do. The players are choosing before I take a look at this, and then you see the results of the action. This is sort of like a play-by-play. They make their choices, and then we see what the results of their choices on a full minute of their turn. So it looks like the armor is moving forward here. One of them didn't get the order that he's probably supposed to slow down. He's like racing on ahead of the others here. Sorry about the sort of lousy camera work here. I'm not used to this particular thing. It's a little different. The controls are a little different from Total War, which is what I usually do. But yeah, this guy just raced ahead there. Took a chance on running into anything, but I guess it is the first turn. Looks like they are placed there with these trees on their left, which is going to be good for them since, little to their knowledge, there we go, the New Zealanders will be coming from that direction. But it looks like they have spotted New Zealanders over there in those woods. They now know that they are from that direction. And they've already committed moving themselves that direction. We'll have to see during their next turn if they switch. Let's go over to the New Zealanders. And now we're with the New Zealanders, and they are in motion. Looks like their men are crawling through those woods, moving slowly. Looks like they're kind of creeping forward. Yeah, they're gonna cautiously get across that creek there. And looks like they're moving that entire group. Oh, there's some of them really moving slow. They are crawling up there. They're going to be very cautious. Gonna let maybe that first platoon get across, find out what's going on. Now you can see over there is where the Germans actually are. The New Zealand commander does not know that yet, and so he is heading just across to that orchard over there. It's not woods, mind you. It's an orchard. There is a difference because they're in rows. The rest of them are just moving very slowly up behind them. They're going to let actually just that one section get up a little bit and do point, or move point for them. And now we're back to the German turn, and you can see that the tanks have, they're reacting to seeing the New Zealanders over there. You can see the question mark over there. It means they don't know what's over there, but they know something's over there. And probably assuming that that must be their starting setup because there's no way infantry can move over there. So they're going to shift directions and they're going to move into these trees. Comes big question: are they going to go through the trees or nope? Looks like they're just going to stop there and get themselves ready in case the New Zealanders are coming. It almost looks like the Germans are kind of playing this defensively, even though they have superior armor. But then again, they did spend all those points on all those defensive works, and it'd be pity not to use them. So they are moving their infantry is just walking into position, which normally you'd want to run across the field like that. But again, if the New Zealanders can't see them, can't shoot them from long range, it's best not to wear themselves out. So they're getting in place, and that's it for the German turn. And the New Zealanders continue to make their way across that creek, and now you got some of them running across the creek there, getting down in that water, and gonna make their way across. Let's see if they have spotted any Germans yet. Nope. So far, the New Zealanders have no idea where the Germans are, so they are taking kind of a big risk here. Or I shouldn't say risk, because they don't even know they're taking risk yet. But they are running across that creek there. They know that they don't want to be out in the open. As far as they know, Germans could be way over there, out in the open there. Oh, and I heard some engines. Yep, looks like they are bringing forward their Shermans. They are very cautiously moving up there, but supporting their infantry making across. And it is a full move with all of their infantry. They are sending one platoon running across there into the, not woods, but the, I can't think of the word right now, but into these rows of trees here. And the others are following up behind and taking position. And there we go. That's the New Zealand turn. And back to the Germans, and they are continuing to set themselves up. Looks like their infantry continue to just walk along the field there like it's a stroll. I guess since they know that the New Zealanders are there. Wow, they really are spotting a lot of them, but the New Zealanders are not catching them. Let's see, they're seeing them occasionally pop out of there and then disappear again. So they're pretty much just sitting there watching them, and bringing up their infantry to support. So my guess is that they are probably going to try to ambush them there, hoping that they're doing very close to what they're actually doing, coming across that creek. Although we don't know if the New Zealanders are necessarily coming this direction, because they don't necessarily know where the Germans are. The Germans might be victims of their own success, the fact that they've hidden so well that the New Zealanders have no idea where they are. I just love the look of these tanks, though. Look at that. That is amazing looking. Alright, let's go check out those New Zealanders there. And the New Zealanders continue what they're doing, although now the rest of that infantry, look at that. They are picking up speed, and they are going to run across that that creek there. I almost said beachhead because it is almost like they are charging Normandy Beach or something. They are going to run across that field. As far as they know, the Germans are back off in the distance there and can shoot at them, so they're going to get across that that open creek as quick as possible. Oh, you can hear them splashing in the water there, even though they aren't really splashing water or anything. That's kind of funny. But yeah, they're moving every kind of unit there. Infantry and mortars, and now the tanks have moved more in position to guard their crossing, while meanwhile those taking point are certainly being a little bit more cautious as they make their way up that hill there. Back to the Germans, and they are still just walking their way into position. I guess they're just not wanting to get in much of a hurry because, again, your troops will get worn out by running them. And, of course, the New Zealanders so far are still way on the distance. I mean, they've been spotting them, but they've spotted them on the opposite side of that creek. So, as far as they know, they're also playing a defensive scenario. So, they're not in any rush. And, in fact, if both sides took defense, one of them would have to start going at the other. But, looks like the Germans are in no rush to get started, which that doesn't exactly sound much like them, but they are defending Italy, or they are defending their holdings in Italy, so I guess it makes some sense. And the New Zealanders continue up that beachhead. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at them here. Oh, that guy doesn't even have a gun, the one center screen there. Don't know what he's planning on doing once he gets up there, but he's just gonna... Maybe he's the one saying, follow me to everybody else. Ah, these guys have gotten to the edge of the woods and stopped. I guess they're gonna wait for their guys on point to move up, who are still very slowly going up. Some of them have stopped to cover the others, and yeah, it makes sense, because they probably think they're up there in those buildings, perhaps. So they are slowly getting up there, taking cover. The mortars are in place. So they are preparing themselves to go against the Germans, and they still don't know the Germans are almost all completely on their right now. So German trap might just work. And back to the Germans, and as you can see, they're still getting themselves into place, strolling along, taking their time, letting the New Zealanders make their move. Almost as though they've seen them moving. The German commander might have actually seen, well, no, they's the same spots. In fact, they're, oh no, okay. Their intelligence still has them in place here, so they don't even know that they've crossed here. So once they get into position, they might just simply assume that the New Zealanders are still over there and they're going to have to go get them. But at the moment, they are just taking position on that tree ledge. You can see that if the New Zealanders do go out into the open there, they are really going to be in for a lot of fire, and they'd be under fire from the trench line and from those tanks. So the Germans are probably just hoping that they will get into position there. And they are inside of, well, it's this orchard down here. So far they're not taking position where they can get hammered, but if they move up here and continue into that field, they're going to be in a lot of pain. The New Zealanders are continuing to take their positions, and now look at this. It looks like they are now shifting to the left there. They look like ants from over here, but yeah, look at that. Oh, now you do have some guys crossing over into the, I keep wanting to call them woods. I'm going to call them woods, but it's really orchards. But anyway, they're now moving into these orchards that you can see they still have not spotted. So up here is where the Germans are in that line of trees, but you cannot see them. Also in those that orchard to the right. But instead, the New Zealanders are shifting to the left, almost though they're expecting the Germans to be up there where it says La Marseilla, which the German commander, or the New Zealand commander, probably thinks that that's where, there's a reason. I know if I was playing it, I would think there's a reason the label is there, so, oh, well, it must be there. So, I'd shift that way, and that's probably what the New Zealand commander is thinking. He's probably thinking, well, they're over there. They still have not spotted the Germans where they actually are. So, yeah, the New Zealanders are now shifting all of them over towards La Marsala. Let's see if they've done that with the armor as well. Yeah, they've shifted one of their tanks over into the orchard over there, so they are very clearly making a shift to the left. So you can see my cursor is heading directly towards there, towards the center, and the Germans are way over on the right, so they may just simply miss each other here pretty soon. And the German reaction seems to be to stay put. They have a very good trap for that big open field. I think they're assuming that the New Zealanders know where they are and they're going to come out into that field. But nobody is moving in there. And in fact, well, like I say, the rumor's still there. So as far as they know, the New Zealanders are still in place way over there. They don't even know, the Germans don't even know the New Zealanders have crossed over the creek and are on their side. And remember, they are in these I keep wanting to call them woods, these orchards here, and are getting ready to fall across this field rather than this one. So it looks like they might miss them. The New Zealanders may just go over this direction and bypass the Germans altogether. So we may just have a comedy of errors here. Problem is, it's not so funny. And the New Zealanders are getting themselves set up to go across that field. Oh, it looks like they left a commander behind. He's running up there. And you have the tanks moving into position, and sure enough, they are moving towards the left, towards La Marsella? I can barely remember. La Marsella, it's probably the way to pronounce it. And so they have one Sherman tank giving cover, while the other two are crossing this creek, crossing the whole creek bed. And you've got all the infantry lined up along that tree line there, and some at the wall there, so they are they are set up in case any Germans show themselves across that way, which of course we, the audience, know they will not be, because they're all over there, and they have no idea the New Zealanders are right now bypassing them and going to the left. Maybe they'll see them as they cross that field here. As the New Zealanders go across here, they'll probably see it from that field, from that tree line back here, but won't be able to do anything. And back to the Germans. Oh, and their line is finally starting to move. I guess they probably realized that the New Zealanders aren't going to come to them, so they're going to have to go to them, which sounds very much like the Germans during World War II. Well, this war ain't going to start itself, so let's get out there, boys. So the tanks are moving across this field. The Tiger is leading the way slightly, when the Panzer IVs are sort of a little bit behind. Oh, and now the New Zealanders have popped some smoke over there on the right. Now the German player, or the German commander, we don't call them players here, he would not have, he would have programmed in his orders before that smoke would have gone. So both commanders have made their choices at the same moment. So the New Zealanders have thrown their smoke out at the same time the Germans have. So the German commander was not able to alter that choice once he saw the smoke, but now his turn is done. So next turn he will be able to react to that smoke. But this turn, once it popped, his guys were already on the move. So this is where it's going to start getting interesting. The two are sort of aware of each other, but they don't know where each other is exactly. Just the general area. Well, actually, the New Zealanders don't know the area, even of the Germans yet. Let's take a look at their side. Maybe they've found out. Over to the New Zealanders, and sure enough, they have just started to see that German movement. They see all that armor starting to come out of those woods. They were well hidden while there, but now, oh, well, actually, they don't know what kind of armor it is. They just see a bunch of question marks, but it is armor. So now they are aware of where the Germans are. They have more or less flanked them, but it's the New Zealanders cannot change their orders. They made their orders before they saw the Germans, and they're having to make their move as they go along, just like the Germans. They saw the smoke pop, and they are not able to react because they've already sent out their orders. They know that the armor's on the move. They don't know what kind it is. They just know that, when it's a question mark like that, you just know it's there, but you don't know exactly what it is. and they've already ordered their men to go across that field, so the men are going. Good thing they popped that smoke. I don't know if they knew that they were in that area, but they knew there was that there was a chance they were somewhere up there. So they're going along with their order, and now they're going to be able to re-choose base next time. So now both sides know where each other are, and it's going to get interesting. And now to the Germans. Let's see how they readjust. Looks like their infantry is changing a little bit. They're changing their direction. Tanks definitely are. You can see, the Tiger is turned a little and stopped, but the 3 Panzer IVs are moving towards the smoke. They know something's going on there. Oh yes, that is some kind of artillery fire or mortar fire of some sort. They don't know necessarily where it's coming from, but they are getting ready, because that clearly looks like it's somewhere that the infantry is going to be crossing, whether towards them. Oh, it looks like they're going to run over one of their own guys. Once again, once they get moving, they can't readjust their orders. Now they know there are some men across the way there at that other group of trees. I'm just going to call it that because I keep forgetting the word orchard. And yeah, there is some fire going on. They've seen them enough there, and the German infantry's moving up there to that building. And there's some German infantry moving that building, so they're going to be on both sides. They have now spotted that some kind of Allied armor is coming across there too. So they are going to get ready to try to contest any kind of movement up that valley. From the New Zealanders' perspective, this is what it looks like. They are crossing their field, and more smoke's being put there to cover their movements. They have not yet seen the German tanks. Remember, this is back in time just a little bit, so this is what we've just seen, but from the New Zealanders' point of view. They are throwing up more of that smoke so they can get across there. Hopefully those Germans won't see them. They've not yet seen their tanks yet. No fire is happening. They are running across there as quick as they can. Let's take a closer look at these New Zealanders running across there. They have the tanks to cover them, but not from the proper angle. There they go, running across that field. Right in plain view of them, of those German tanks. Going through the smoke, so they can't be seen very well. Now they've seen Panzer IV, and they're being fired on, but they are getting across that field. They are not getting hit. They are some lucky guys, particularly because of that smoke. It's a very smart move. Back to the Germans, and they are rushing their infantry into position. You can see some of them down here looks like they're taking their places inside the buildings. Probably over here as well, yeah. And the tanks probably expected more infantry to go across there, but it's not showing their head. In fact, those that went across have now gotten across. But now here comes some American armor. Or not American, I mean New Zealand. And front turret hit. Penetration. That Sherman tank took... Well, you know, the Panzer IV... took out one of the Panzer IVs, took out the other one. The other ones have bailed out of their tank. You know, usually it takes more, but man, those Shermans have taken out 2 Panzer IVs already. That was a fast... I did not expect the New Zealand armor to take them out so quickly, and now they're starting to spot the New Zealanders over across there, but... the armor battle has begun, and the New Zealanders are not as outmatched as I expected. And now the same thing from the New Zealand point of view. I'm surprised those Shermans got up and in position, but although it might be just a matter of that smoke was probably still clearing while they got into position. Usually when the German tanks see Shermans coming, they pop them out before they get a chance to get any firing done. But clearly they got into position while that smoke was still there, and they are taking advantage of it. I mean, right now they have not seen... As soon as that German tank came in position, they fired. Those are some good tankers right there. Immediately firing, immediately getting a penetration. There we go, taking out those 2 German tanks. That one is definitely taken out, the one on the right. The one on the left, it got a penetration, but you don't see a lot of damage on it. That might actually still be operational. Meanwhile, the infantry is moving up into position. They're starting to get some fire from those buildings. Yeah, you can see that. But they're taking position against that wall there to get ready for those tanks to come down. But they may not need it since the New Zealand armor is doing pretty well. Man, that infantry made it to the other. I keep wanting to call them woods. The other orchard as quickly as possible and got the cover from that, and they're not getting any fire. And now from the German point of view, the Tiger is moving up into place, and oh, the Panzer IV is giving covering fire, and of course once that Tiger gets into place, it becomes a completely different story. Oh yeah, you can see those Shermans trying to fire at it, but doing nothing. Wow, that was a strong shot, as Tigers oftentimes do. Can't really tell what kind of effect it was. They're just firing into it. Something sometimes that happens with Tigers is they can fire so far and so effectively. It's got so much smoke. You don't even see what kind of effect they have. Oh my God! What was that? Was that some artillery coming down? That was a strong hit. Oh, something that's even pulling the Tiger back, causing them to pull back. Wow! And you can see the one of those Panzer crews is running for it. The Tiger's pulling back. Something really is happening. Oh, that was the other. Oh no, that was one of the Panzer was already out. And the turn's already done. It's just so much fast and furious firing over here that you can't really even tell what's going on. But it was too much for a Tiger. That really says a lot that the New Zealanders are really bringing their A game here. And looking from the New Zealand side, let's see if we can discern what was happening here from a little bit more of a distance. You're getting that crossfire from the two buildings firing at New Zealanders. I would expect there to be a little bit more damage, but then again, they do have a lot of cover. And there's the fire from that Tiger tank firing at that Sherman. There seems to be a slope. Oh, and there we go. Upper front hull penetration. That Sherman's got to be out of there. One shot, one hit from one of those. Oh, there we go. Hit the turret again. Yeah, and there goes the New Zealand crew backing out of there. Oh, and hit another tank. Penetration, upper front hull. That might just do it for that Sherman tank. That'd be two of them. Although they hit another one of those Panzer tanks. And as you remember, the Tiger actually pulled back, which was a surprise here. He was beating the Sherman tanks. Took out two of them. That is 2/3 of the entire armor force. But maybe he felt outmatched. Maybe he didn't know that there was more coming. I don't think the German player or the German commander targeted that thing in there. There was a flash in there. I still don't know exactly what that was, but as you can see, we've reached into that turn. New Zealand infantry is pushing up here on their right, up to that wall, and on the left they've pushed forward just a little bit as well. Moving on with the German turn now. Bear in mind, they have not even brought in the majority of their forces to bear. The Tiger is pulled back. They might be just smarter than anybody else because while yes they are causing some damage and slowing down the New Zealanders, this is not actually where the majority of their fight really needs to take place. Although if they can stop them there, this really is a good place to defend, so I don't blame them for wanting to fight it out. And again, here was I'm not sure where that blast was. I didn't quite see if it was the Tiger or something else or some artillery or something, but truth be told, this is such a right at this slope, it does sort of slow down the New Zealanders, so they may just stay here and fight for a bit, or the Germans may try to hold them here. And now the New Zealand point of view for that same part of the fight. Seems like it was just an exchange of gunfire at this particular point. You can see these guys over here are working on their tanks. Working on their tank that got damaged. Apparently it can be fixed even after getting hit by a Tiger, which is a major deal. I know I'm making a big deal of it, but it really is a big deal. Sherman against a Tiger. And there was the explosion. Oh, I see. It was just simply because the tank's on fire is continuing to explode. Maybe that's what freaked out the Tiger that was next to it. And it is just an exchange of gunfire at this point. And here we go, continuing on with the Germans. The Tiger tank is moving up into position again. Try to do some fire. Looks like one of the German command units is under fire from some direct fire there, from rifle fire. And the infantry there is trying to fire back, so it is a firefight right there. Looks like a command unit is still out here in the open, may have gotten forgotten. And the New Zealanders are not going to leave something out in the open there. Now you can just see that most of their units are rumors at this point. Oh! Hit weapon turret. The Sherman tank has had the audacity to take on the Tiger. Tiger is looking, can't quite find it apparently. It is simply taking hits, and that is a real upset. Now that is actually fairly unrealistic there, that the Sherman tank is able to damage the Tiger so badly from such a distance, although there is a possibility of something else out there that we're just simply not seeing. Okay, now looking from the New Zealanders' point of view, and maybe we'll see what it is that took out that Tiger, which I just can't even imagine what would have that kind of firepower here. Was it this actually the Sherman tank, or was there something else here? Now you see that Tiger's starting to move into position. It's that mystery thing on the left. The New Zealanders at this point don't know what it is. Up, there we go, now it has popped up. You would think it would just be taking out that Sherman tank there, but it is actually kind of low on that hill. It is hard for them to see each other. There must be something else. It was something else. It was something from the side here. Maybe there's an anti-tank gun over there we're just not seeing, but it was something. Oh, and there's some artillery that's starting to come down. It's hard to see where that was from, or whether it was Germans or whether it was some friendly fire. And and it is back and forth firing here. However, I didn't think the Tiger was taken out that quick. Nope, it is still there. No, it was taken out by this point. They must have just gotten a lucky hit from somewhere. Back to the Germans here, and this might be a bit of a firefight for a little bit as the two sides simply fire each other across this wall, and as the tanks pound away at each other. At some point, their artillery should be coming in. I know that they've loaded down. Oh, mortars, and there we go. Speak of the devil itself. They are starting to get hit by some of these mortars. The New Zealanders have light and medium light and heavy mortars, and that last one sounded like a heavy mortar because it was you could hear the ordnance flying through the sky. Question is, when is the German ordnance going to start dropping on the New Zealanders here? Looks like there's some smoke there, so maybe that's from it. That's usually the thing that breaks the stalemate like this. Oh, and you can start seeing that, yeah, the Germans are starting to take some casualties down there, so it's not going to be long unless their artillery can do something in return. And from the New Zealand point of view, it's the stalemate as they fire back and forth. Not a lot of movement. Everybody is in their positions. And there's some fire coming down. You can actually see it's pretty close to the battlefield. It actually might be the light mortar that's actually starting to do the damage. Yeah, I think it is actually. I don't think the heavy mortars have even come in yet.
Hello.
Ooh, although they are starting to get hit. Oh, looks like, yeah, they are getting hit by something in return. So now is the stalemate breaker on both sides. I don't know if those are up. Yeah, some of them are dead. Some of them are still living, but they are getting hit in return. So it's going to be a matter of which one blinks first. And the machine gun fire is coming from that side, and so the New Zealanders are going to have to start getting some fire down on those. The infantry is just it's kind of there to hold each other while the mortars come down on both sides. Ooh, that looked like artillery, like regular artillery. Well, we'll see which one breaks. So both sides have laid in what they're doing, and now we're going to see who blinks first. Yeah, you can see the mortar fire is just coming in on both sides. It's starting to make it's starting to make their points, starting to really cause their damage, break that, not the ceasefire, break the, what is that one? I bet, a lot of lost for words here, just watching this fight going. There's so much going on from so many different places. Break the stalemate, there's the word I was looking for. A lot of machine gun fire going into that house. A lot of people trying to hit that, and then this stalemate continues here. Neither side is breaking, neither side is stopping, and they're both sending mortars at each other. The Germans are cowering for, I mean, one thing that is happening is they are really looking to defend here, but they're not very much used, except for this one guy. This one guy is like Screw that, I'm firing. You guys can all go in fetal positions all you want.
Fire for effect. Over.
And that sounds like the New Zealanders are calling in some artillery there. So some of this that you're seeing is just being called in.
Fire for effect. Out.
Watching from a distance here, oh, and that would have been artillery coming back, but you can see a lot of their infantry there on the right is getting scared, is pulling away. They're cracking in this really more mortar fire. It's not official artillery, but man, it looked like there was an arc way over there from the building in the center. I don't know what they would have been throwing unless it was a grenade. And that machine gun fire mixed with that mortar fire must be just devastating. But it does look like, wow, it looks like shots from heaven there. That would have definitely been the regular artillery. But it is completely missing its target. It's way over here, while the Germans are over here. So, obviously, that was called in wrong. Moving on here, and I just noticed there's only 16 minutes left, which means 16 turns, essentially. Looks like the Tiger crews getting back into their position. Looks like some of that wall that the German infantry was hiding behind has been damaged. So now they're susceptible to direct fire as well as indirect fire. Oh my god, look at that. That looks like regular artillery fire. It missed before, but it is crawling towards them, getting closer. Oh, that is definitely getting closer. I would not want to be that German infantry just about now. And there's still fire coming from those buildings. I'm surprised the New Zealanders have not cleared those out yet. I don't know if it's a side issue or what, but now the German artillery is answering in kind, not so kindly, but they might be doing some damage to the New Zealanders over there. The battle rages on the German side, with them continuing to get pummeled by mortar fire and sending it back to the others. They have an anti-tank gun running back. Looks like he's all alone. So, there's Panzerschreck crews are supposed to be crews, not individuals. So it looks like all of his buddies are killed. And man, that's a lot of dust going up there. That wall, there's just basically no cover left for the Germans. This might actually be a good time for the New Zealanders to assault if they knew that such an opportunity existed. They might not, though. In fact, they probably don't. But man, I would say the Germans, at least in this area, have lost the artillery duel. Yeah, you can see they are retreating, getting out of there. Their tanks are not particularly useful. They don't even have their Tiger tank. They have one Panzer IV. They have really just kind of lost it on this particular side. It might be time for them to move back to that trench work, which the New Zealanders don't even know about yet. Now, the New Zealanders' point of view, you can see that the Germans really are getting pummeled there, and they kind of, from the New Zealand point of view, I guess they do know that the Germans are getting pretty badly hammered, so they might just know that this is... they can't really see over this little ridge, though, so they probably see a lot of damage, a lot of hits, but don't necessarily know what kind of effect it's having. And they are having kind of some of their own problems. A lot of them are very shaken when you look at their stats. They are, at this point, nervous, shaken, yeah, because they're getting hit, too, pretty hard, so... Nobody's really coming out of this completely unhurt. And somebody else, there's more artillery being called in. That is one thing the Allies typically have over the Germans. The Germans may have superior armor, which certainly did not show here. But but the Allies have it with the artillery, and yeah, they have really won that artillery duel. So here we go with the Germans, and they are just continuing to be pummeled, and they're definitely pulling their men back. Oh, this one over at the wall sort of stopped, and he is, I guess, going for cover, but not realizing there is no cover around here. Oh, he's just gonna lay there in the dirt and cry for his mama. And man, they are doing a lot of damage. That wall is almost completely destroyed. They really need to come in and take advantage of that, and looks like they are. Yep, you can see the New Zealand charge is happening. The response is happening from the building, machine gun fire. Oh, and you can start to hear some of the damage that's taking place over here. There's the artillery fire still coming down. They're starting to get hit with machine gun fire. It looks like that New Zealand advance is slowing. They're just taking too much damage there. That might just simply be too much. And now, tank battle is happening. The Panzer IV has moved up. The Sherman is moving up to try to support the advance. And now he is in their face. You've got a Tiger and a Panzer IV against the Sherman right there. I would not bet on the Sherman at this particular point. Watching from the New Zealand point of view, you can see this charge now starting to take place. They have realized it is time to exploit that weakness. They're running up there. Who knows if they knew how much damage had been done, but there is a lot of smoke up there you can see. But you can also see this is about where that Tiger tank starts. And as soon as I'd see that, I would actually start getting nervous about this charge, but doesn't seem to be noticing them doing much. It's a little bit from that building where they have to be concerned with machine gun fires. Oh, and it looks like that tank is distracted anyway. Is this where that Sherman is moving up? Oh, here we go. Here's that machine gun fire going into the New Zealanders as they run by. Some of them are getting hit with some of that. You can see the Sherman tank moving up beside them. Yeah, it looks like it is really there to support that charge. And something is happening over here as well. You are starting. Oh my God! You are starting to see a lot of damage from over here. Looks like they started getting hit with some mortar fire, which I think they called in the mortar fire. So they're probably getting hit with some of their own friendly fire over here. And this charge is taking place with a tank and infantry, and it ends with not a good position to be in if you were in this tank. Take a look at that. That is not a good position. Now watching from the German side, looks like that the tanks are shooting back at each other, back and forth at each other, and I think the Tiger actually is taken out once and for all for this time. So you see, yeah, wow, 3 German tanks are gone. Oh, and that's an unusual sight. Both tanks turning their backs on each other and moving away. They both, bear in mind, both commanders make their orders simultaneously, and you know, then they both see the results, so either one can affect. Oh, there we go. The Sherman tank took out that last German tank as it was moving away. Both of them moved away, were firing each other on the run. How is this charge going? Looks like it has been stalled. The New Zealanders have had to stop. Even though it's a clear road up ahead and there are no tanks, they just got too much fire from this building over here on the right, and they're just now getting hit with some artillery. So they'll be able to continue on now, but up to this point they were getting hit a little bit too hard. So let's take a look at their side. Watching it from the New Zealand side, you can see the artillery fire is, it's really mortar fire, but that's just going all over the place there. You see some here, it looks like it's trying to hit that building, but not quite getting it. There's a lot hitting from back there. Now, of course, they're not killing anybody, but that is a lot of morale damage there. And now you can see that both tanks have turned and are trying to get away from one another. Apparently, both thought that they were outmatched. The German fires and misses. The Sherman tank fires and penetrates it, taking it out, taking the last one out as it races away, thinking that it's outmatched when it actually destroyed the last of them. The New Zealand infantry that was charging has gotten stalled, but they've gotten up. Now they're going to be able to go, continue forward. There's no one up there, which might be a curse, because now, look at this, they'll be able to run into this open field, but remember what's right up there. The New Zealanders have no idea, they can't see it, but it is all of the German defenses are up there. This battle has really just barely gotten started, and look at this over here. Looks like the New Zealanders have set up for something right over this hill. And now for the Germans. They are holding off as much as they can, but now their tanks are all just hulks of steel sitting out there. So they still have a strong position in this building, however. As long as that artillery fire doesn't come down on them, they are holding off the New Zealanders from really penetrating deep up there. And there's the ones that go in here, although it looks like, wow, now they are getting pummeled. Look at that, they are getting pummeled with some heavy artillery. I'm not sure if it's the mortar or their artillery, but man, I would not want to be somebody inside of those buildings right now. Oh, geez, so they can't hold there, folks. I'm trying to look at this devastating artillery fire. Oh my God. And I think that all this left. Oh no, this is still have infantry. We've got an anti-tank weapon there. Because, yeah, that was pretty much their turn. It was just pummeling them and trying to hold their position. From the New Zealand perspective, something tells me it's going to be about the same. You can see that artillery is raining down on them there. Looks like they have, oh my god, that is light. Looks like they have a bit of infantry standing back here, or lying down back here, ready to go in an assault. So it's probably the best thing to have that mortar fire coming in right about now. We have some firing coming in there. Oh, looks like that sniper bullet just went right off the cement wall there. I hate when that happens. Trying to snipe somebody, and the bullet just ricochets off the brick building. Looks like this assault is still stalled, and even though there's not a lot still left against them, they are still holding position, probably because of some German artillery that's come down on them. And it looks like that tank, it's a little tank that could just start to move up there slightly again, trying to get in position hidden in the way of the sniper. On the German perspective now, and I'm looking at it from their fortifications, because this is probably where we're going to end up leading next. This is sort of the next logical step. They're pretty much moving back from there. I mean, they do have a couple strong points in here. Oh, and it looks like they're starting to pull back because of all that artillery fire coming in there, which someone will probably get hit on the way out, but at least others will get out of there and survive, rather than just being completely whittled away by that devastating artillery fire. And now there is a firefight going on here. Oh, here now the trench war from the trench men come into play as they are shooting down the New Zealanders coming out of the orchard, thinking that they're going to assault someone, and instead just getting smacked with all of this machine gun fire. They thought that the threat was tanks and infantry back here. Nope, it was an empty field. And looking at it from the point of view of the New Zealanders, oh, they are using the Sherman tank for what it's more useful for, going up against infantry. And they are just firing into, that building, doing whatever damage they can to it. Let's see if this artillery is still taking out this building. Oh, I heard a scream. I don't know if that's our guy. Well, it looks like some of their artillery just came a little bit too close and did a little bit more friendly fire, which is unfortunate, but it has driven out the Germans from that building without them even needing to assault yet. Speaking of assaults, these fine gentlemen are coming out of the woods now and getting shot at from the trench. This is our first view of the trench from the New Zealanders' point of view. And yeah, you can just barely see it out there. You really wouldn't be able to see it without the machine gun fire. And yeah, they're starting to take some losses here. So they're going to learn very quickly that they're not going to be able to take that position by direct assault. They're going to have to find something funky to do. So here we go for another German turn. You can see their machine guns are firing from the trench line, as well as some mortars. So they are just holding those the New Zealanders back. And as you can see, the New Zealanders have ceased their advance through that grove. Hey, I got it right this time. And the cover fire, or that firing, is covering the German retreat out of there. There's some fire coming over from that direction, and you can see that the New Zealanders are continuing with their mortar fire. The Germans are pulling their men out of one of the houses. I don't know if they're pulling them out of the other. Ooh, my God, some fires coming from the New Zealanders over there. Oh no. Maybe that's coming from the trench line again. Man, that is some long-range machine gun fire. Really covering them, actually getting the complete other flank. Looks like the Germans are leaving the ones in this flank and in this building at the moment, but the New Zealanders are not pushing forward yet. New Zealanders during the same turn. You can see the infantry in that grove, and they have given up pushing forward. That's the reason we couldn't see them. They are all shifting over here to the right. They're not gonna be foolish and run right out into that field. I wonder where that shot, did you see that shot go into the sky? I didn't see it go down before. I don't know where it went. Oh, there we go. Oh, just out in the middle of nowhere. The Sherman tank is firing into that building, but as we saw, the Germans have now left that building, and so the tank is firing really at nothing. Look like the New Zealanders here, are staying put there, not making a move yet. Oh my God, that building is down. Alright, well, that's some of the Germans as we saw. They did not pull them out of there, so that is some dead Germans out of that building. I didn't see that before. That's sort of weird. We must have already moved away from that. So, anyway, so now we see the left flank's moving forward, and the right flank is shifting further to the right. And now the Germans are taking their turn. Notice something kind of odd over here. Way over here on this right flank, you remember the New Zealander view? That building's destroyed, but it's still there in the German view, which explains why we didn't see it before. But it's not really going to matter because the Germans are escaping from that. It looks like they're going to try to make their stand back with where the trench line is. The New Zealanders probably don't know that because they came out of the back, unless there's another computer error. That might be the reason why a Sherman was able to take out a Tiger as well. Oh, it looks like they have left someone behind. There's an anti-tank gun just sitting there. Oh, look at that. Everybody else in that building's dead, but there's one guy just kind of sitting there. The Germans probably just assumed he was dead and left him there, left him for dead. Well, that's about it that's happening over here on the Germans. Let's see about the New Zealanders. And on the New Zealand side, predictably enough, they continue to shift further over to the right. Looks like they can see the Germans now. I don't know if they can see. Yeah, they can see that it is a trench line. They have figured out sort of what they are. They don't know how many guys are there, but now watch for them probably getting into position and calling in artillery and mortar strikes. That is the problem with a static defense, but they are going to have to get their spotters where they can see them, so they are shifting over here, and it looks like they are out of the way of that machine gun fire, so they're not getting any of that. Where'd that tank go? There it is. And it looks like they've still left their sniper back behind there. And these guys have not pushed forward, even though the building is knocked down. You know, maybe we just didn't see it, because it looks like that building's still there. You know what? That's probably the case. We just missed the other building on the German side. It probably was not a computer problem. Maybe the Germans saw it, and that's why they pulled back. They realized the buildings are coming down. On to the German turn, and it looks like it's getting a little more peaceful because the New Zealanders have shifted over so far in those among those trees that, yeah, as you can see, the Germans can only get sporadic shots. They are firing over on the right flank though, very long distance shots, but it looks like New Zealanders have possibly been moving a little bit. Wow, their shots are really zipping by there. We can't really see what they're doing to the New Zealanders on that flank. There's still some mortar fire coming down on this position. As you can see, there's one anti-tank gun. He's just sort of sitting there to maybe get revenge. Oh, he is scared though. There's so much fire coming down on him. He is now just too shaken to be able to move. But meanwhile, most of the Germans have moved back. Oh my goodness, there's some artillery coming down, and I think they got the guy once. No, he's still alive. He's just getting pounded with, and I think that's the full artillery, not just the mortars. New Zealanders, meanwhile, are they're actually staying put. They're probably maybe exhausted and getting into place, but or getting themselves rested a little bit. But they do have these mortars up here, running up there, and this mortar is in place. So watch them starting to fire on that German position. They're now starting to get a sense of them in that trench line, and the Germans are sort of firing back. As we saw some long-range shots. There we go. Now the mortars are starting to fire on there. Let's see how it does. Does it get anywhere near the target? We need to be a long way off because there we go. Pretty close, but still pretty far in front. As we saw, the artillery fire was just devastating. And what are they doing here? Oh, they're slowly crawling forward, heading towards that position. Oh, but there is some artillery coming down on them. I don't remember the Germans putting much down there, so it might be friendly fire. Plus, of course, they're getting that long-range machine gun fire from over there. So, even though there's no enemy to their front, I doubt that this charge is going to work. And here we are with another turn where we are learning how to do some new cool camera angles. Look at that sweep. That was awesome. From the distance, we can see the machine gun fire continues on these guys on the right. It's funny. I guess not particularly funny, but the Germans on the far left are firing at the New Zealanders on the far right, doing a lot of damage. They've completely caused that charge to go back. Look, it's gone all the way back to the woods. And, it must be friendly fire that is hitting there. I know that was intended for these buildings, but I don't think there's any German artillery that can quite get that far. So, Oh, there we go. There's that fire continuing to land on that one German guy who is still alive, but down there in a fetal position. But yeah, as you can see, the New Zealand left flank is completely folded. It's not going any longer. Over here, they're just holding their position and waiting for the New Zealanders to come after them, and the ones running across the field have made it to their original ambush position along that line of trees. And the New Zealanders are firing their mortars, lobbing those shells over. They're not quite sure how much damage they're doing. They are hitting, it looks like, just in front of the trench lines. Up there's one that landed just beyond. They might have to actually get that hole in one in order to actually do any damage, but they're going to have plenty of... Ooh, someone might have done it. They are shifting more troops over here to the right, so it's very clear that that's where their assault is going to come from. And yeah, they are really hitting some in that pocket, so, you know, that's actually some good damage is being done. We saw a lot more fire came in here just earlier, and as you can see, this attack just has failed. They are lying there taking as much cover as they can. Some of them dead, some of them just lying there crying for their mamas. Yeah, it's so bizarre because there's no one in their front, but their charge has ended just by pure psychology. Oh. Somebody's got to finish that that fire mission, because they're getting hit. I swear it must be their own artillery. I'm not sure the Germans quite can reach them where they are. But, you know, I didn't think the machine gun could either, so who knows. And here we are on the German side. They are continuing to hold position. Those who had to come back are getting there. Sorry for the stammering here. I've just been so shaken by all this artillery coming down and continuing to pummel right where this guy is. And man, he just continues to hold out there no matter what. He is a dedicated trooper. I can't say that I would do the same, but just keeps coming close, but not actually killing them. These are still pinned down, even though there's no target in front of them. Oh, has he finally been hit yet? No, but he keeps... Well, he's up even. Oh, he's surrendered. He's got his hands up. Well, you know, time for a cop to come along and shoot him anyway. So, yeah, bad taste joke. I'm sorry, that's just our country. Alright, so, let's see here. Yeah, okay, well, that tank, the Sherman tank has just moved up. And that guy had a Panzerschreck, would have a really clean shot, but he is surrendering at the moment. The rest, I think, they're just continuing to hold, although you do have some of these Germans running back here. You can see that they have mines. If they keep running forward, they might just run into that minefield. So now, on the New Zealand side, you can see where the Sherman tank is starting to move up, and gave him a nice clean shot to his flank for that Panzerschreck, but that Panzerschreck, as we saw earlier, has surrendered. He must have just thought that the guy wasn't even there. I mean, you can see the New Zealander, from the New Zealander point of view, you can't even really tell that anybody's for sure there. You have some rumors, but nothing for certain. Over here, you have the troops continuing to shift right. I think there are a few more over there. You can see the snipers moving up into position. Who's going to be doing that? They're basically doing a cautious preparation for an attack, it looks like. They are getting themselves... I mean, both players have been sort of cautious in this particular game, or in this particular battle. And it looks like the New Zealanders are getting themselves prepared so they don't have a repeat of what happened on the left flank. Speaking of which, looks like they have all moved back into the grove. They are getting themselves safely away from the nothingness that is in front of them. And at this point, the Germans are just about into position. You can see a few of them are still moving. Looks like they're going to create a skirmish line at these woods here to be just slightly in advance of the trench line. But of course, as we know from the New Zealanders, none of them are planning to go up through there anyway. But the Germans do have a skirmish line to protect this area where no one's going to be coming across. As we know from their side, they're actually moving in from over here. And the one sign of it from the German side is that they are getting bombarded on that side, but they have no view of anybody here. They have their original rumors from the beginning, but they don't see anybody sneaking up that way, so they are about to get taken completely by surprise. They just simply are going to get themselves in position to defend wherever it comes from. And on the New Zealand side, you can see they are just about ready. They have a couple people running into position, a couple of the sections that had not been into place yet. They are now running into position here. And command unit as well. Meanwhile, another one is crawling up into space. This might actually be the most important. Out of all those people running, the ones that might be most important are these two butts right here that are kind of in our faces. Yep, that guy with the binoculars right here. What he is doing is probably key to the New Zealand position at this point, because they're going to need to rain. No, don't put your binoculars down. I'm proving a point. They're going to need to rain artillery down there, but the Germans have chosen a very good position. It's really hard to see them up that hill. In fact, there is that rise there, so I don't think they're going to be able to start raining the artillery down on them because they don't have much of a view. Meanwhile, on the other side, I believe that, yeah, they are still just pulling back. They are going to be exhausted for a little while. They have managed to get back into the grove of trees, but that is essentially the limit of what they're going to be able to do. Again, apologize for the bad camera work. I am still learning this system. Back over to the Germans, and they still do not see anybody moving in on their left. They are getting hit with artillery over there, so they probably have some idea there's something going to happen from that direction. But their rumors still have, oh, well, it had some of the New Zealand infantry as in these positions, but when you zoom in, they're kind of gone. So, I don't know, you may not know exactly what is going on. Meanwhile, it looks like there's some movement in the trenches there. Probably trying to get away from that mortar fire over on their left. The rest are staying put. They're not necessarily doing a lot. There's some still coming in from the far right flank where the New Zealanders still cannot charge. You still see no movement from way down there. Oh, wait, there's a bunch of things popped up. Maybe they might be starting to make some movement forward there. We'll just have to see. Meanwhile, we can't even see where that German thing is. There's a little rise here, a little bump that's getting in the way of everybody. New Zealanders can't get at them, and the Germans can't get it to the New Zealanders. The New Zealanders, meanwhile, are continuing to lob, I almost said grenades, lob mortar shells into the German lines, and now it's going a little further into the... No, it's still on the German left flank. The New Zealanders do not realize that the Germans are now starting to shift some of their units from there and moving them more towards the center or even towards their right, the New Zealand left. This one here, he's more than likely calling in some artillery shells there. Now remember, the New Zealanders actually have full howitzer artillery, some heavy artillery, so they are probably going to bring some real holy hell down on them. Oh, there's some fire coming from over here now. So the New Zealanders are starting to reveal their position, so they're going to have to make their move sooner rather than later. In fact, actually, they're now starting to fire that spotter, who is truly the most important one here. Oh, it's the mortar guy who's firing direct fire at them, because apparently the mortars are not doing enough. He had to get up pretty close because that rise has been really causing them trouble, but they are firing at a German commander who's right there, so it is a commander versus a mortar. Mortar team. You don't usually see that happening. Meanwhile, the spotter looks like he is in place, but once again, he's having difficulty getting a clear range there because of little rises in the earth, which are just kind of causing all kinds of problems. Sherman's in place. Let's take a quick look, even though we're now down with the turn, where these guys here on the left, and yeah, it looks like they're back there just trying to recover. And on the German turn, we can see over here to the left, oh, there's the, actually straight in front of them, you can see that the Sherman tank has now been spotted, and it's beginning to move out of its spot, and over to the left they could see the mortar, the light mortar that was over here, but it's gone now. But you are starting to see some rumors of New Zealand troops over there to the left, so it's becoming clear now to the Germans that the New Zealanders are there. However, bear in mind, that probably just appeared, so this particular turn, Germans probably will not react. This commander saw them, but it was not widely known, and so the general may not have sent the orders yet. And there's fire coming out from straight out in the front. It looked like there was, oh, I think I saw the snipers there, symbol up there. So the snipers probably sending some shots over here along with that Sherman that was out this direction. But nobody's appearing long enough for the Germans to really start sustaining fire. I'm surprised they're not putting more fire on the light mortar over there on the left, because it can keep being seen. Oh, and there's the sniper. We can see it up there taking some pot shots. And the New Zealanders over here, they are starting to move forward a bit, and they do definitely have the advantage as they are moving up on the German side of the field here. However, they're going to need to make their assault soon, because we are almost out of time. We're under 3 minutes. We're in the 2-minute section. That Sherman just seems bent on destroying that wall. Not sure what that wall ever did to it, but it is doing nothing but destroying that wall. Meanwhile, their infantry is sitting there. They might be waiting for artillery. I mean, usually when infantry is ready to go in somewhere, and they should be fresh enough to do it, but they're not, it's usually because, yeah, some kind of artillery is being called in, and so these guys probably are getting ready to do that, so wait for some fireworks here. It looks like a New Zealander's gone AWOL over here, just sort of sitting back here. Oh, it's some of the tankers that came out of their tanks. And where was it? Over here, our left flank. Yes, there we go. They're still sitting there trying to recover. Right on the German side, let's see how they react to a lot of the New Zealanders moving in on their left. They gotta know by this point. You see a few of those guys in the front, sort of the skirmishers, are running back. Not sure why they're going to the right, but then again, if they moved straight ahead forward, they'd be going in front of that Sherman, which is now moving up on them. Oh, so now alright, well, the Germans are starting to fire out of that, and the Sherman tank is firing back at them. Oh, what is that they're shooting out? Oh, that is the Panzerschreck. Oh, and it hit the armored skirt on the Sherman. The Sherman is firing back. So it's now sort of a gun duel between the Panzerfaust or Panzerschrecks, whichever they are, and the Sherman, which is doing some damage over here. And now you are starting to see, oh, some artillery fire coming down on the New Zealand position. However, it's a lot of smoke, so it might be a smoke round, but it might be friendly fire. Might have, well, we'll look on the New Zealand side here in a moment. They might have just hurt their chances at a charge there if they have pinned down their own people. Meanwhile, the Sherman has been hit in the mount. We can't quite see it, but it's saying hit in the mount. Not sure how you would know that if you couldn't see them. And they're seeing that the sniper is out there as well. So there might be a bit of a firefight here in the last minute. There will be one more turn with the German. So here's the New Zealand side of that same fight. Let's see if that fire that came down on them was friendly fire. It looks like the infantry is now making their move. Well, it's funny, we didn't really see it on the German side. We did not see it coming, probably because of that little rise there. You know, they are behind that thing. So the New Zealanders might just surprise them. Ooh, it looks like some fire came down on them. Is that going to pin them? Or is that a smoke round? Well, it looks like a bunch of them are pinned down. Oh, yes, it is. It is definitely mortar fire coming straight down on them, hurting them, pinning down the rest. It is really doing some major damage. Meanwhile, the Sherman tank moved up here, as we saw. It has gotten a good position behind the destroyed German tank, while meanwhile the sniper team is firing from over there. So they are doing some damage to the entrenched German position. And yes, I think the Germans firing back, they are not hitting the Sherman. They are hitting the destroyed German tank. Yeah, as you can see, it hit the weapons mount, but that was the German weapon mount. So that Sherman tank is staying up. That guy got himself very well placed. The artillery should be coming down any moment, but that is one difficulty with this game, is it takes a while for the artillery to come in, which is very realistic, but when you are on the clock, look, we have one turn left. Sometimes you got to get that artillery to come in. And you can see the New Zealanders are right on top of them. Look at this here. I will zoom out a little bit and look from above. They are right on top of them. The Germans probably did not see them because they're just past that lip. There's one or two of them that they should be seeing, didn't for some reason. It's a command unit, ironically. But they are up there. There's only a few of them up there because the rest seem to be pinned down back further. So it is going to get hot and heavy here on the last turn. Let's see how it goes. Alright, last turn, here we go. It is computing real-time action, so we are going to see what happens on this last turn. Will the New Zealanders be able to assault the position? Will the Germans be able to hold them back? What will happen over here? Oh, looks like there's some movement over here on the left, but it's moving away. It looks like they might have beaten back that assault over there on the left, and yeah, there's still some fire going on. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Some New Zealanders right up there on that hill. Oh, and they just got shot down. I'm not sure if there's any more up there or not. There's some more firing going on, so maybe somebody else is going to come up. We just don't know quite yet. There's some mortar fire shooting over there, and looks like there's been some penetration on the Sherman over here. Has it been knocked out? I'm not quite sure. It's not firing back here, and we don't see any of the sniper fire either, so looks like, yeah, it looks like the New Zealand firing has been stopped. I mean, they certainly have, the Sherman certainly has a really good position, and these guys over here can't quite get on it. But you'll notice there's a Panzer Faust or Schreck over here on the right that would have been flanking them. And it looks like, oh, the New Zealanders were still trying to assault the position, but machine gun fire was coming in, and here at the very end, there's the guy just sort of standing up there looking down on them. However, they did kill some of the Germans that are in this flank, and so they did manage to do a little bit of damage over here on this particular side. That doesn't do it completely for us here because, oh man, they actually did quite a bit of damage. Look at that. All of that down. If they'd been able to be reinforced by a number more, they might be able to get them. I mean, there is, of all of them that were there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, no, is that 3? 1, 2, 3, 3 Germans left there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 bodies. 15 or 16 bodies over there, plus some people freaking out. So, you know, they, whereas meanwhile it's, what, 2 dead New Zealanders and 1 guy who's probably about to get shot. But that's pretty good odds, even though they didn't quite follow through and finish off the entrenched position. I'd say the New Zealanders did well on that particular flank. Let's see the battle from there, or this particular part of the battle from their point of view. Alright, the battle's going, and we can see this assault is taking place. They are moving up there. 1 guy was already retreating, the commander. Of course, that's a perfect person to be retreating. Here's the 2 guys running up here. See how they get all that. Oh yeah, look at that. They just take down a lot of them. They lost 1 of the guys there, and another one got shot down, but not before. They took down a lot of the Germans. We saw them before. We don't really see them now. The guys, there's still another guy trying to get up. That's probably the guy who got there at the very end. Let's see how the rest of the assault is going. They're trying to get up there. They're getting hit by mortar fire. Some artillery fire is coming in here. We can hear it landing. I think it was doing quite a bit of that damage. But let's see over here. How did this Sherman fare? He is in position, and they're firing at him. They can't quite reach him. I'm not quite sure when he got taken out, if it was from the flank or from ahead. Oh, but they definitely have been hit by this point. Yeah, you know what, let's actually zoom back, because I am really curious now. When did they get hit here? There we go. We're going to see it here in a moment. From what angle? I don't really know. It almost looks like it came from, you know, from right in front, almost like their own shell bounced back at them. But my guess is they probably got hit on the side. There's some smoke on this side, and there's some others here. So they probably just didn't see the blast come. It probably came from that flank in the trees, but we just simply can't see it. I am interested in this this assault that's taking place here. As you can see, it is getting pretty well knocked out by that mortar fire. I'm just going to run it back a little bit, because this was the end of the battle. So, yeah, you can see, man, that mortar fire was really devastating over here. So anybody who was coming through this particular area was getting hit pretty hard, and that wall was even coming down. So anybody doing direct fire was going to be able to hit them. But I am curious if there was any of that artillery fire that was coming. Yeah, you can see there's some hits here, and that is taking out some of the Germans that were in there. So essentially, in the end, what we can pretty much gather is that the Germans got hit really hard on their left flank. They were weakened to the point where there really wasn't much over here anymore at the end. And the New Zealanders were coming in with their assault, so their assault was somewhat successful. I can't see past this tree here. It is pretty successful, because look at all that devastation there. There's hardly any Germans left there, but their assault pretty well had been broken up. You got the one brave guy there. Charles, he really is a brave one who's really doing well, but you can see the rest of these guys are just retreating. There's the one guy retreating. We saw the commander running away a little earlier, and these guys haven't quite gotten into battle. My guess is that they got too shaken. They were probably over here when this was getting devastated, so they just are spent, are not going to be able to continue the assault. While meanwhile, of course, there's the New Zealanders way over here on the other side, and they are just completely spent. They simply cannot even get themselves to moving anymore because they've just taken too bad of a shake. They probably will be back in like 5-10 minutes, but this battle is over. It does have a time limit. You can see down there, sort of near the bottom right, that it's the time limit is out. So, yeah, you still have the sniper there, but yeah, they can just basically pick away at an entrenched position. You would need a new reinforcement to come in, but they probably could do it if they have any reinforcements coming in. They could probably do something to that German position. But for now, I would say this is more or less a stalemate. If anybody's a victor, it's probably be the New Zealanders, because they certainly own most of the field. Let's take a look at the entirety of the field, and you can see that they certainly have possession of this field. The Germans are blocked into that back right corner. Of course, that is kind of where they intended to be. They meant to have it back there, have a really strong defensive position. But as I said at the beginning of this battle, this was a meeting engagement, not a defensive scenario. So the winner does not wind up being automatically the German or the defender who held this position. It is who took most ground. So I'm going to give this one to the New Zealanders. Let's see what happens when I click next on here. Yeah, there we go. After action report. Quick battle. Time limit reached. Skill of veteran. New Zealand Army minor victory, which is just pretty much what I thought. They failed. Let's see. Both of them failed to take all the ground. Both of them failed to destroy all the targets. But in terms of points, the New Zealanders got 295, the Germans got 233, and you can just read down that list of how many are still okay. You have more men left on the New Zealand side. Just a few more were killed on the German side than the New Zealand side, and but a lot more New Zealanders were wounded. I guess they ended up killing any of the Germans that were wounded. They didn't wound them, they just out and out killed them. And that sounds like a New Zealander. But overall, very good game. Let's look at a review of the map one last time, and that is it. Well, that'll do us for us here at Command Combat Computer Reports. I really enjoyed this. I'll try to make them slicker and faster in the future. I know this was much longer than we're used to in any of the Command Combat Battle Reports, but this battle was new to me, and World War II can get into these firefights that end up being like that. It's also a lot of me just sort of figuring out what's going on. But anyway, really good game. Congratulations to both players there for a wonderful battle. And happy gaming, everybody!
Did you like this video? Then be sure to subscribe to see more and share us with your friends. Also, if you'd like to support us financially or just give us a tip, consider a donation on Patreon. A little donation from each of our viewers helps us expand the videos, keeps the channel going, and helps us make more of them. You also get bonus videos and a big thank you from us. Happy gaming, everybody!